Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to our penultimate episode in the series From the Margins to the Mainstream, highlighting the journey of the informal waste pickers community in Bengaluru, a community which has been sidelined for far too long and forced to live in the dark. Interventions, whether they aim to address social, environmental, or economic challenges, often have a limited time frame. However, their impact shouldn't be confined to a temporary solution. Sustainable interventions are crucial for achieving lasting change and maximizing the return on investment of resources, effort, and time. By involving community members in the planning, implementation, and decision making, interventions become more relevant, tailored, and sustainable. Community ownership and empowerment foster a sense of pride, motivation, and commitment, leading to better outcomes in the long run. We have with us Ms. Chandra Ganapathy, who is going to talk about the importance of community participation to ensure sustainability. Chandra has over 30 years of extensive experience in the water, sanitation, and hygiene sector. Over the years, she has been anchoring long term strategy development and its operational plans, development of monitoring frameworks, and performance indicators in various capacities at WaterAid.
I'm Chandra Ganapathy. For nearly 30 years, I have been in the wash sector, particularly with WaterAid in India. And with them, I have been working in various roles. But throughout the 30 years, I've been working on program impact, program performance, and being part of the larger processes. I have two daughters, 2+1 grandchildren. One is coming through soon, and happy retired life currently.
What has been your experience working in this development sector for the last 30 years?
Very exciting, finding passionate people without much monetary or tangible rewards. Many have been working in the field, committed to work, committed for some cause, something big or larger, wanting to bring about a change, and meeting those young and senior people who have been experienced, humble, modest, and just committed to serve the people, the disadvantaged, want to bring about a lasting change. So that knowing those people has been an inspiration, has been a motivation to do more. And the constant process of aligning with the needs on the ground, the people's aspirations, people's deprivations, and a gentle trend of resources being lost, not reaching the intended audience. How to bridge this gap? And NGOs, not just WaterAid, whoever is WaterAid is associated with, and whomever I have come across, have been doing that constant effort of bridging that gap.
So, what are the challenges NGOs face dealing with different stakeholders?
Yeah, many challenges. An established NGO also, in a changing context, the bureaucrats change, the government changes, the context changes. So they have to re-establish themselves, reposition themselves, informing the audience, the stakeholders, who they are, what they are for, building that trust, rapport, and the conviction that they can work together, constantly building that rapport, and constantly being aware of what is on the ground, what is that they need. And most of the NGOs that I know are not very resourceful. They cannot compensate for the contributions their team makes, but still that passion, that commitment, that volunteerism drives them, not just the chief executives, but the junior teams also, junior members of the team also. That is what drives them, that they are serving some purpose, bringing about a change. Everybody is motivated, everybody is doing. So this constantly proving yourself, yes, I'm credible, I'm here for the interest of the people, with everybody, with the changing context, and finding the resources to reward your teams well, to do the work that you intend to do well, That is always a constant change. They are well respected, well received, but it's not from the beginning. They have to work hard for that. They have to demonstrate their credibility in work, in action, in words, and they have to build it over the years. So, one little scandal, supposedly scandal, or one little negative impact may bring down all their carefully built up trust and rapport with the community, with the stakeholders. So, this will be a constant challenge. And they have to, the priorities of the people may be different. Whatever is the environment, ecosystem providing resources for may be different. That meeting the gaps in the people's needs, that is constantly their struggle, endeavor. They have to convince the giver that the need is here, not there. They have to convince the community we can do this better in this way. It's not a straight subsidy, it can be done differently also. So that negotiation, that being constantly aware of what's on the ground, that constantly collaborating and convincing the stakeholders, because for them their mission is the primary. They have to constantly be engaging and convincing stakeholders because they are important in allowing them to operate, in enabling them to operate. So this happens throughout.
You have worked with WaterAid. How important is the concept of sustainability and the community participation for WaterAid?
Very, very important from the beginning. We may not have used the exact words of sustainability or community participation, exact terminologies, but the essence has always been there. From the beginning, I remember in the early days of early 90s or late 80s when we were starting work on the ground, the WaterAid team, our partner NGO team, everybody used to be on the ground, connecting with the people and connecting what is that, the support that is coming in and what is their role in that, what is their responsibility in that. I'm proud and happy to say that in most of our projects, community leads, community owns, and community manages. Even 20 years later, when we go back, the works that has been done has been still serving the intended purpose, and the people are owning and managing. So it is very important. But over the years, we have learned many ways how to integrate it from the beginning, how to be more effective in integrating sustainability and community participation in a more fruitful way. So it has not been that, yes, from day one we intended, we achieved. We are learning, we are applying, and we are improving.
ನಾನು ಮೊದಲು ಕುಂತಿಗ್ರಾಮ ಏರಿಯಾಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಭಯ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಇದ್ರಾಗಿದ್ದರು, ಪರಿಚಯ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರ್ದೂ. ಆಗ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳನ್ನೇ ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡೆ, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳನ್ನ, ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ, ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು MHM ಸೆಷನ್ನು ಫಸ್ಟು ಒಂದು 4 ಜನ 5 ಜನ ಆ ಥರ ಕೂರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೆ. ಆಗ ನನಗೆ ಇವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಈ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇವರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇದೆ, ಈ ವಿಷಯ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ಹೈಜೀನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತು MHM ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಇವಾಗ ದೇವಿಕಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಹುಡುಗಿ ಸೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಅವಳು ನನಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗಲೂ ಬರ್ತಾಯಿದ್ಲು. ಮತ್ತು ಅವಳು PUC ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಅವಳು ತುಂಬ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬಂದಾಗಲೂ ತುಂಬ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾಯಿದ್ಲು. ಮತ್ತು ಅವಳಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತಾಯಿತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಅದ್ರ ವಿಷಯ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಅವಳನ್ನೇ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡೆ. ಅವಳನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಆ ಸೆಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ, ಅವಳು ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು 10 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ವಿಷಯನ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವಳನ್ನೇ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡೆ. ಅವಳು ಈ ವಿಷಯನ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅವಳು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾಳೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಅವಳ ಜೊತೆಲಿರೋ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸಿಗೂ ಅವಳು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾಳೆ. ಇದು ತುಂಬ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ.
So how aware and open do you think people are to the concept of community contribution, collective accountability, O&M in the context of urban, especially with slum dwellers?
With the ecosystem, the politics of today, there are many messages, many information going into the people. They seeing many services, many basic and essential services are their entitlements, their rights, but they also have a responsibility in maintaining them. Some information which goes in a way confuses them also, that we are here as a recipient, everything has to be provided, no rule, nothing. But everybody, my life I have to manage, my services I have to manage. So a collective also, a household, a collective also has to manage to sustain the services which has been provided. The conflicting messages at times confuses people. People start demanding, why should we? Why is the government not providing? Why not that? So the resources for the government also comes from them only. If not directly, indirectly, it comes from them. How wisely to apply their own resources, they have to actively participate to manage the services, whatever is coming. So it has not been always easy to convince the community to contribute, to take charge of the facilities, to run them, to sustain them. It has always not been possible. Even when their participation has been forthcoming, to take responsibility for monetary or in-kind contribution, or to sustain them, take responsibility to sustain the services beyond, has always been not forthcoming. But it has been fruitful, it has been coming forth after conviction, after demonstration, after educating them on what comes in, who gives what, and what, for whom at the end. This has been accepted coming, but still challenges are there in terms of their skill, in terms of their capacity to do this, in terms of monetary resources. Because however well maintained the facilities, however well supplied the participatory people are taking charge, everything, there may come a time when it has to be completely replaced. Then there should be support coming forth from elsewhere. So these roles, these what, when, who, how has to be more clearly articulated, more clearly demonstrated for it to spread across. Because many services people pay and services are provided to us, but it happens in a very synchronized manner. Nobody understands who pays what and all. So this has to be communicated, that everything that government holds is a public resource, people's money, and how that can be effectively applied by we taking responsibility for maintaining what is government responsibility, what is our responsibility. That has to be more widely discussed, agreed. It's not that entitlement means somebody does everything and we just sit. Entitled means I receive what I want and I take responsibility to maintain it further. So this has to come from, in every communication, in every narrative, this has to be communicated.
So WaterAid has been working in the communities, focusing on hygiene promotion, hygiene education, and hygiene promotion. Do you believe that behavior change is a possibility?
I believe the awareness, I can see that in early 90s when the behavior change as an essential part of our work started. What was the status of hand washing? What is it now? Many behavior changes, prioritizing, focusing, and reinforcing. And when the change comes, building on, recognizing and building on the enabling factors around, and identifying other risk behavior and promoting them. It's a continuous cycle. And our data shows it has improved. Public data also shows it has improved. So there is change possible, and we have to constantly apply our mind. What has caused this change? That has not been fully looked at, I think. That can be looked at to see what has caused this change and how can we build on that to bring on larger behavior changes.
Okay. So you said that sustainability is a possible, and so community is ready to take up additional responsibility of operation and maintenance. So in order to ensure sustainability, and what should we do? I mean, how do we ensure that there is a convergence of concerned departments and the resources to reach out to the most marginalized community to improve access to water and sanitation services, especially with respect to the slum dwellers?
Like in most of the big networks, big supply systems, which is involves multiple points, multiple locations, multiple audiences, the more operations and maintenance is better taken care of by the concerned departments, and it seamlessly runs. In that also, I'm not sure if everybody pays for it. Some may be paying and some may not be paying but still enjoying. It's only where it's to a specific household, to a specific community, and it's out of the plans of the government. It's not a routine plan, but it's out of the challenges come forth because it's seen as a one-off intervention to provide a facility. It's not every network will have a factored in component on maintenance. But this one-off service, a hand pump or a tap extension, may not have that factored because this was not in original plans also. So every new creation, every new rehabilitation should have a factored contribution on maintenance, budget allocation for maintenance and operations and maintenance, and clear, transparent messages, convincing messages through using good communication, inform the community that this is how it will sustain. It will not sustain by a mechanic coming from 3 kilometers far away maintaining it every day. The users maintain. How we maintain our stove at home, how we maintain our rooms in the household, we have to maintain certain things. The roles are shared. It's not one's responsibility to maintain everything. The roles are shared. Just how house operates, the pump also operates like that. So that message, it has to be a public awareness. It has to be a public knowledge. It's not that I go and install a pump and I run a session on operations and maintenance. So it has to become a knowledge across that everybody knows that if a pump comes, if an electricity connection I get, I have to pay for it. I pay for the meter, I pay for the change of wires, any damage otherwise the government pays. So that I know. Nobody taught me because that's a basic service, that's a public knowledge, it's everywhere. Like that, even for this other basic facilities which goes to them, we have to build a public awareness and knowledge. If I get this facility, I commit and return that I am going to maintain that. That kind of a onus has to come. It's a design fault and a ownership fault.
It was clear from this conversation that one cannot stress enough about the importance of all things collective, be it collective action, collective responsibility, and collective accountability, all to create a collective impact. While we have a long road ahead of us, rest assured we are on the right track. In our next and final episode of the series, we are going to be in conversation with community members who have understood this key aspect of collective initiative of the Samuhika Shakti project and are going to be sharing with us their experiences and changes that they've observed over a period of the last 2 years of WaterAid India's intervention as part of the Samuhika Shakti initiative.